Howdy folks, Jamboree here, and welcome to another episode of The Church of Tim Curry, the podcast series where we focus on the movies of British actor Tim Curry. Joining me is my co-host Viva Becker.
Hello.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about The Worst Witch, a TV movie based on the children's books by Jill Murphy, which predate Harry Potter by many decades. The film centres on student witch Mildred Hubble, who is doing very badly at her school, constantly scolded by the strict Miss Hardbroom and mocked by her classmate Ethel. When the beloved Grand Wizard, played by His Holiness Tim Curry, agrees to come visit Mildred's school, her class is ordered to learn a broomstick flying formation to impress him. Meanwhile, the evil witch Agatha, sister of the school's principal, plans on turning the school's residents into frogs on Halloween night. Can Mildred stop these villains? So let's talk about the greatest TV movie of all time.
Did you just say greatest?
Yes.
How about the worst TV movie of all time?
I'm gonna admit right now, this is one of my new guilty pleasure films.
Literally, how though? Every single aspect of filmmaking is terrible in this movie.
That's why I love it.
There is nothing that is not terrible in this movie. Everything. The writing, the characters, the story, the pacing, the sound, the filming. Even the cat was handled terribly in this movie.
There's just so much wrong, and I love it.
Someone dubbed over the cat in this movie.
Yeah, it's clearly like a grown-ass man just going... And the cat's mouth's not even opening.
Are you all right, Tommy? Stop! Whoa! Don't panic, Tommy. Witchy Brew, what's the matter? Look how!
It's glorious. This film is glorious.
The fact that I heard that and I was just so confused that decision was made.
Right away, from the first frame, you know that this is an ITV TV movie. Right, immediately from the 80s, it just does not apologize. It just goes, right, this is it. We have a £5 budget. We're gonna do this.
From the very first frame, you know it's gonna be terrible because they started in such an awkward way that you think that you've started in the middle of the movie.
Yes, you do, yeah. They just dump you into this school. It's like watching Harry Potter, but like you've skipped the entire beginning and it just starts with them in lesson. It is. It's Harry Potter on £5.
What budget, though?
They at least pay for costumes. And
Even
Tim Curry must have been expensive.
The costumes look like a pile. Tim Curry's costume was expensive. He was wearing a large blankie the entire time.
No.
They just had to go to the home goods store and get a sheet.
So where to begin with this film? The best thing about it is the Tacky as all hell green screen effects. I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. It's the fact that you can tell there's like a hint of sincerity behind the production. You can tell like that they're somewhat proud of these green screen effects.
Are they though? Because you could be dead and do better green screen effects. They really went all
for it though.
They have a thick border of green around them.
Yes, yeah, but like what I mean is that like they were so reliant on it, and you can tell like. Look at the magic we're making. Ooh. Yeah, so like, what's funny as well is like, when the witches are on their brooms and they're riding and the teacher is grading their riding, it's like, on what merit? Because of the special effects limitations, the witches can just sit there on their broom while the editor kind of like drags them along the screen and like, what?
No
It's like
attempt at acting while they're sitting on their brooms. They literally just sit there.
Yeah, they look so calm.
They don't even look like they are alive. Honestly, if you told me they were photos that they were just dragging around.
The problem with the story is that it's insanely episodic. There's not really a story. It's just the misadventures of this really terrible witch, who doesn't really exactly improve throughout the film, and then does a spell good, and suddenly she's a hero at the end of the film.
Was she really the worst witch? Because it kind of just looked like she had an off day. Honestly.
It does, yeah. But one thing I will admit is okay, is the friendship between Mildred and her best friend. I thought that was cute. I thought that was decently done, and it was nice to see her at least having someone by her side. Like, that was the one thing I would say, well, one of the one things that I'll admit, unironically, is done okay.
Was it, though? Why are they friends? What makes their friendship special? Because she's supposed to be this outcast, but she's literally not an outcast. All of the girls, all the other girls at the school, are always supporting her and shitting on the supposedly popular girl.
True.
And I'm like, if you look at their actions, who they're supporting, who they're cheering on, it's this girl who's supposedly the outcast.
Right, yeah, I get you, yeah.
She has the same relationship with every other girl, and I just... Explain to me why the two of them are friends, because you only see the other girl supporting the worst witch, and you don't see why she is friends with the worst witch.
It's not like a deep, powerful friendship or anything, but like little things I thought was like, oh, that's nice, that's sweet. I liked their little thing with their brooms when they tapped each other's brooms. Just little things like that. I was like, oh, that's nice. The villains do nothing except for run around a campfire and drink.
And the acting, too. The least threatening, most ridiculous, obvious acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
Just listen to them, Delilah. How dare they? They've changed my school song.
Never mind, Mr. Sagatha. Soon it'll all be yours. All of it.
Was mine, by birth, mine, before my sister stole it. She was always Mom's favorite, always jealous of me.
Oh, the least intimidating villains in a children's film I've probably ever seen, and that's why I love them, because they were just I don't even know how to describe them. They were just so terrible at what they were doing. Like, there's that scene where they see Mildred performing a spell, and they're like, we're gonna get you, and they go in the slowest friggin' way. It's like Mildred is stumbling. It's like, Mildred, just do the spell. By the time you've done it, they're probably still running.
There's that scene where they're outside the school. They're like, ha ha ha, we're going to attack the school on Halloween night. Halloween night rolls around, they do nothing. The whole beginning of the movie, they build up how these witches are going to come attack while everyone's distracted on Halloween night. And then they just forget about it. The next day, the witches are still on the other side of the mountain.
They are really awful villains, and I love them because they're so terrible, and they're performed by these like middle-aged women dressed as like punk drag queens, and it's just yeah, I adore it. Again, this is one of my new guilty pleasures, and I would not mind watching this film again.
Camp loving trash.
I do love my trash. It's really pandering to my kind of thing. A mix of whimsy and tackiness, and yeah, I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff.
Explain to me the punishment of the witches, the evil witches at the end of the movie. They go to Alabama?
Yeah, it's another thing that like makes them less threatening. They're turned into snails, and then they're restored back to normal, and they just stand around going, and they just give up. they just
go to
give
Alabama.
up, and then they go to Alabama.
Is this like some sort of like British thing
No.
or something? Because I don't understand why they're going to
Okay.
Alabama.
My theory is that Agatha, the main evil witch, her actress is trying to do an awful Southern American accent.
Now's the time to execute the plan.
What plan, mistress?
Well, we got one plan, dingbat.
Oh, the takeover of the school plan.
Yes, that plan.
It's really bad. You can't tell that she's doing it, but like I can tell she's making an attempt. And then in other scenes, she lets a natural accent come out, and you're like, wait, what? Which accent is she supposed to be doing? I'm confused. She sounds Yorkshire in one scene, and then she sounds like she's from Alabama in another scene.
I couldn't tell. She
Yeah,
never sounds like she's really from Alabama.
Oh no! It's a really, really bad accent, but like in some scenes you can hear her attempting to do this terrible American accent, and I think what they were trying to do was her home is in Alabama or something like that. That's my closest guess.
Well, just another great choice that they made for the movie, I suppose. Let's talk about the thing that I did not like the most about the movie.
What's that?
And that was the fact that every single witch in the movie has got it hot and heavy for Tim Curry, including the witches that are like 10 years old or something.
Yeah. Well, what's creepier than that is that Tim Curry's character has been disguised as a bat and stalking the girls throughout the film, just so that in his final speech at the end he can say, well, I've seen what Mildred is capable of, and I've seen... What?
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Let me just turn into a bat and hang around the school for 10-year-old girls.
It's so weird.
Well, they pass around a picture of me and kiss it.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole fangirl aspect, I was like, There's a lot of girls go through that phase of fawning over like a pop star, and I think the Grand Wizard is supposed to have that kind of appeal in this world. I think they're trying to go for like this rock star angle with him, hence why he has that amazing song.
Well, if they're trying to go for the suave pop star thing, why cast Tim Curry though? Because he would have been, how much better would it have been if they went for like kind of eccentric, crazy, powerful Grand Wizard instead of toned down, kind of suave Grand Wizard? Because all of the toning it down was taking away from Tim Curry's natural pizzazz.
Well, and what have you concocted for us this year, Miss Cackle?
Welcome, welcome, oh Grand Wizard. I am deeply honored, Your Honor. We're going to start with the broomstick formation.
Let it begin.
And the only time that he was really shining as the Grand Wizard was when he kind of let it go at the end of the Halloween song.
Oh, I really want to talk about that song.
Okay, let's talk about the song.
Oh
the
my
reason
god,
we watched this terrible movie.
Okay. So, first of all, the rhyming scheme. It really just feels like someone wrote this song like as fast as possible, at gunpoint maybe. Just quickly like, what rhymes with this? It doesn't matter if the sentences are coherent. It just has to rhyme in some way. And then you've just got this array of awful tacky green screen where they're just clearly having so much fun and not realizing how bad it looks. They're just like, oh well, let's have this in the background. Let's have this. Then this happens, and this is yeah, and then it does that. And like Tim is clearly like having so much fun singing this terrible song.
Is he singing though? Because his singing didn't even sound that good in this.
Oh
one,
no.
Compared to like what he did in Rocky Horror.
Your toenails grow long and your hair turns green. fisher could become a sardine. Your dentist could turn into a queen. Has anybody seen my tambourine?
He starts the song, and he's like, ugh, and I was like, what's that? What is that?
He makes some of the weirdest noises. I love it. It's like, this just stops halfway through the song as well, going. Is what I love about that scene is that out of everything that happens in the film, it's the most pure, unfiltered Tim Curry. Like, that was the time where he was put in front of a green screen and just let loose. And like, he could have gone even hammier, I'll admit. But the fact that he was trying to be at least a little sincere made it even funnier.
I disagree. I only liked the very last bit where he let out original hammy Tim Curry.
Obviously, it's like, yeah, it's a toned down Tim Curry, but compared to the rest of the film, that's why I feel like he's having the most fun. He's given a bloody tambourine, I mean. It's so good. And
He whips out the tambourine.
He has that freaking cape. And they composite him by dragging him around. Oh no, I've just remembered.
An 8-foot-long cape that's really just a rainbow blankie that he...
It's
they
beautiful.
strapped to him.
And then there's like... I just remembered another amazing special effect where Miss Harpoon comes down the hallway and the editor literally just spins her around.
Oh, I was so annoyed
That's
every
a
time
magic
the
effect.
witches teleport different places, they were using different kinds of teleportation effects. And I was like, choose one. Choose one.
I think it should always be spinning the composited actor around. Because that was
would be
amazing.
preferable to changing it every time. I just couldn't get into it because it was so boring because they never give you a reason to be invested in the story.
Oh no, they don't. No.
I didn't like the main character at all. And I didn't really like any of the characters at all, honestly. I was not invested in the struggles of the main character because she never really did struggle. She was never really as unpopular as they were trying to pretend that she was. She was never really that bad at magic, obviously, since she fixes her problems overnight, basically. She was being supposedly bullied by this one girl, but we see her bullying the same girl at a similar level, if not the same level. So it's really just two, like, catty witches bullying each other.
Yeah.
I don't want her to win because she's really at the same level, so...
Yeah, I'll admit, like, I wasn't, like, engaged, but it's just the misdirection of everything that I found so fun. And, like, the fact that everything felt like a student film. You know what it reminded me of, actually, is that as a kid, every year I used to go to this filmmaking summer camp. And, like, a bunch of kids would get together in groups and make something. Looking back on half of that stuff, it's obviously amateur, low-grade stuff. But this is a film produced by ITV. Why does it look like something I made at children's summer camp?
How could this be a professional film? The audio clips every couple of seconds.
Yeah.
I'm just... anything we pick out, deficient. Anything. Every single aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I just can't imagine any stage in the production when this was not failed. I don't know what the original vision was of it, but I can't imagine, because even the core stuff, the story is just terrible. The script is terrible.
Well, what's interesting is that I grew up with a version of The Worst Witch that was broadcast on the same channel that this TV movie was on. And yeah, it was a big part of my childhood, but I've not seen it for so long. And after watching this TV movie, I want to see it again. I want to see if it's like an improvement. And in 2017, there was another adaptation. So now I'm curious about that one as well. I want to see if you can do this better. It's probably easy. I know it's an easy. the bar is very low. But I want to see someone else's take on it now. I really do. And I want to go back to the one I grew up with and see if it brings back nostalgic memories.
The only thing that would change my mind about this movie and make me like it is if it came out that Tim Curry was actually the one dubbing over the cats in this movie the entire time.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
And I don't think it was. That's the only thing that could have saved this movie, and it didn't happen.
One step further, what if Tim Curry did the voices and just did it in his Nigel Thornberry voice? It's just like a little kitten going, ah, oh no, ah! Mildred, be careful! I want to see that dub. So, final conclusion.
It's not a good movie, and Tim Curry's not in it enough to save it. And he doesn't play the cats.
He's in like the last 20 minutes.
The last 20 minutes?
Yeah, I noticed he came in at like the last 20 minutes. I might be wrong, but...
Yeah. He has the song, and then he's got a very small handful of other lines. I have to give it a 0 out of 10 because there's nothing in it that would warrant any points. There's just nothing. So, 0 out of 10.
Okie dokie. It's troubling for me when I rate films like this, because on the one hand, objectively, it's awful, but on the other hand, I enjoyed how awful it was. And I've had this problem before when I did a review of Descendants, so I just didn't give it a grade.
So what's your number for you, and what's your number trying to think objectively in terms of the merits of the film?
For me, I'd say a 6. Objectively, maybe a 2.
Okay. I would say for me, watching it, it would probably be a 2, because while there are no merits to the film, in my opinion, I wasn't angry while I was watching the film. I was just bored and only very mildly entertained by the fact that there were pictures that were moving around. The scariest thing about this movie is the way that every single orifice in my body was dripping with blood after having to sit through this terrible movie.
I've been Jamboree, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode of The Church of Tim Curry. Cheerio, folks.
And I've been Viva Becker. Follow me on Twitter. Goodbye.